Everyone wants to be a hero. Some don't want to pay the price. You think living free comes easy, just ask those who sacrifice. As they stand for the chance to believe, oh, stand so we can be anything we want to be. Oh, stand so our children can be free.
It's Sunday, November 30th, and you're tuned into the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to EP3 Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Reads Across America Radio. Together, we share a mission to remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and teach future generations the value of freedom. A freedom secured by the brave men and women who have worn our nation's and community's uniforms. Stay tuned for We Got Your 6 at 6, now playing on EP3 Radio, Mike Corrado, Stand.
You can be anything you want to be. Oh, we stand so our children can be free. Yeah, we stand.
Lift your head, left foot, shoulder. You got it.
Trucker.
Doctors, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the We P3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Lift your head, left foot, shoulder. You got it.
Trucker. Good evening, Patriot people of the world. I am Andrea Eichmann with the People's Patriot Project, and tonight I am here with Frank DeMith and Mark Paz Peterson for our weekly show that we call We Got Your 6 at 6. Every single Sunday, we bring you a show. I would say a guest and an artist, but we don't know if they're coming tonight. This hasn't happened in quite a while. I think since we've had double guests. Anyway, when we have our guests here, or whether we don't have our guests here, we share all the good and sometimes not so good things happening in our world. Tonight, we will let you know who our guests are as they appear. I just would like to thank our sponsors. My goodness gracious. We have got Derek Iozio and his Catch 22 mission. Let nobody slip through with Catch 22. How do you like that? Godfather. I just made a rhyme for you. Derek's with us here quite often. He also does a group on Sunday evenings, so he may be in and out. We will see if we see him. Then we have got Operation Texas Strong with Bobby and Peggy Kretzinger. What they do is give away RVs. They collect RVs as donations, and they give them away to homeless veterans. Some need to be fixed up, and some are nicer than all of our houses. And so we support them in that mission. And then we have the Boho Hobos Hideaway. This is our friend and partner, Lauren Iozio, and she's got a cute little hideaway down there in Livingston, Texas. If you would like to visit her, go check out the link in our stream and see how to get signed up for a few days with Lauren's Hideaway. Hey, sponsors, guests, and listeners, thank you very much for everything you do to support the People's Patriot Project and like missions. Before we dive into this week's show, can we please take a moment for the amazing version of David Bray's Star Spangled Banner.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched
It is Sunday, November 30th, and it is time for We Got Your 6 at 6. Let's go!
Let's grow.
Let's go!
Let's do it.
Frank's mic is off.
Oh, no.
No, it's not. It was just taking a rest.
Yeah. Frank, you did it. You did it, brother. You made it to the pretty line. That's what you did.
Oh, man.
You did it. You did it. Good job. Congratulations.
I'm honored and humbled.
Yes. Is there a speech?
Speech.
Yeah, I can just change from the other thing to WP3.
Look at
Dylan Petrie, good to see you, brother. Jeremy Daniels, good to see you. I hope it is what it is, man. We got stuff. Life's got stuff. Things are stuff. It's stuff. We had some stuffing. Do you guys have? What kind of stuffing? What kind of stuffing do you like, Frank? Tell me the perfect stuffing.
Oh, I love cornbread stuffing.
Cornbread stuffing. Did you have that on Thursday?
Oh, absolutely. It's not Thanksgiving without cornbread stuffing and turkey innards and gravy and all the good stuff.
Do you make it from scratch?
I don't make it. I eat it.
Oh, fair enough. So there's someone in your family that makes.
There's people in my family who know how to not burn water.
All right.
And I am not one of them.
Eichmann. Was
everyone,
your stuffing stuff looks like?
Everyone who's watching, check Peterson's face.
Why?
I like stovetop chicken flavor stuffing the best.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. That's like the one box thing that gets done during the cook at the Peterson residence as well. It's stovetop stuffing.
We didn't even have that though. We had no stuffing this year.
You didn't what? What'd
No
you guys
stuffing. Everything else, but no stuffing.
What's everything else? Because what you have is not going to be the same as everyone else.
You do some weird concoction, but we have turkey and ham.
Okay.
And then we have potatoes, and we have green bean casserole, and we have corn souffle or casserole if you're from Minnesota. It's corn casserole, and pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and cranberries from a can. And they put them so nicely upside down. You peel it, and it's already upside down.
Now, do you do the cranberry with the berries in it or just the jelly?
Just the jelly.
Does it come from the can with the jelly and or with the berries in it too?
Yeah,
it has both. There's both out there.
We have both because there's some people who like just the jelly, and my wife and I like the real one.
Do you know the difference between jam and jelly?
Yeah.
I can't say. Shh.
Yeah.
About 4 letters.
Let me say that. My boys were all home. So I learned some new jokes this weekend.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, inappropriateness of the world. Sorry, Dylan and Jeremy and everyone else who's watching.
This is something I got to Google now, isn't it?
No, don't do it. It's probably not.
Well, I couldn't tell any of the jokes from when I was growing up.
See?
Oh, boy.
See, don't go looking unless you want to know.
It's not the circle. I can't associate myself with you guys. If this is the way it's
and the sad part is when we were growing up, I mean, the area I grew up in, Chicago, it was all segregated by choice, not by anything else. So you had Irish neighborhoods, you had Italian neighborhoods, you had Polish neighborhoods, you had African American neighborhoods, and everybody lived in those neighborhoods because they chose to live there. And we'd always joke with each other. We had Polish jokes, we had Italian jokes, we had Irish jokes. Had a lot of Irish jokes, but you can't say any of them anymore because you're offensive.
So I did look. I had to go look and see what it says. And it says, what's the difference between jam and jelly? And it says you can't jelly a clown in a tiny car.
You just need to be done. Yeah, that's like code language.
That's not so bad. You can jam clowns into a...
No. Stop.
I'm sure that's not the one, but that's a good one.
Oh, I'll have to wait till the real punchline comes along. Maybe we'll get to hear... You know what? Clowns are part of a circus.
Oh.
That's what clowns are. All right.
Yeah.
So y'all might be wondering, what are these knuckleheads doing on the screen on a Sunday night? Derek Iozio, we don't ask questions like that, brother. We don't ask questions like that. Apparently, there are storms in the world that are keeping people from joining us tonight. And that's what, and again, I don't know those pieces, and that's what we've been told, and that's where we're at, and we're good. And then we've got others that deal with other things. And so we're short a couple guests tonight, which is, and I think Andrea said this in the monologue. This hasn't happened for a good chunk of time. And I said to one of my guests, they, not to throw anyone out there, they asked, can we postpone it for tonight? Or can we reschedule? The answer is reschedule is the answer. But you're rescheduling into 2026, which is fine. It is this. We are scheduled out of the whole 2025 year, which is just a few short weeks now. But but live is live, and we are one of the organizations that does a live show, and so that's where we got. And thanks for that one, Miss Eichmann. I appreciate that. That fit really well right underneath the last text I sent you as well. So
oh, Derek, it will be a great show. Peterson can read. He can.
Yeah. Derek, do you got a peer support group tonight? If not, if you don't, we can send you the code real quick, and people can hear more about Catch 22 peer support. So our guest says that they think that they can be here within 20 minutes. And so that's
sweet.
Fine. There's some pieces that we can do, and we can probably get a song in there maybe.
We got news, we got a song, we got our... Yeah. Yep.
So, we are here for a reason and a purpose. So usually we have two guests on our show. One is a musician that plays, well, he's a musician. They are either a veteran or first responder, and they come on, they share their talent. The next one is a boots on the ground organization, which it sounds like our guest for the evening is about ready to come into the show. And greatness happens every weekend because of the relationships that are built, what's happening across this country. I am very prideful. Even this week, right now, currently, this podcast is ranked number 4 in the nation through Good Pods as a nonprofit podcast. We don't look at this lightly. We have enjoyed the mission that was created through the podcast. there was a mission that existed prior to the podcast. I never wanted to do a podcast. And then when Zooming came along for educators, it made sense to do a podcast during the time that we created it. And little did we know we'd get married to it. And now we are in episode 281 tonight. This is 208. That means 281 straight shows. Siri, how many weeks in years is 281 episodes? Oh, that's goofy when they do that.
I think if you can you just do
5.4 years. We've been here every weekend, every single weekend. And we have probably another 30 episodes in there because of events, because of we didn't know what we were doing when we started this and didn't know that you had to keep track of that data at the very beginning. And then we do have I suppose you say sister, but an affiliate live stream called WP3 Weekly Debrief, which is on Mondays at 16:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30. And that show just talks about the People's Patriot Project, what our mission is. We have our podcast, our live stream, our radio station, plus we got Reads Across America coming up December 13th. We'll get a debrief from Miss Eichmann tonight on that. But we're a working organization that also facilitates veteran and first responder asks and needs. And so we try to fill a niche. One of the things that we constantly say is we are a working organization. We work. We are boots on the ground. We are going to be insistent in pushing forward. And I'd like, the nuances, you're the tip of the spear and you move forward and you're the in front. But the thing is, we bring everyone with us. We have conversations with everyone. If you're capable of working together, we work with you. If you want to do your own show and do your own rogue bullcrap, we will not be part of you. That's what we do. When there are 86,000 organizations in this country that say that they help veterans and first responders, I don't have any direct data that says, oh, boom, here it is. But we all can sit and look into the aquarium and say less than 10% of those organizations are actually, so less than 8,600 are doing the job. Less. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know that 1,000 organizations are doing the job, to be honest with you. That's my opinion. And I am boots on the ground. I am watching. I'm listening. I'm hearing. That's a whole nother conversation, talking about a consumer or a provider. We're the provider, but we go and we look at what other consumers are seeing. But we have a call to action every weekend at our 1800 show, and that is our Check Your Six or Check Six. I really thought I was going to get to that graphic this weekend. Didn't get there, but everyone's got a device in their hand. The first thing because we're putting you to work, folks, the first thing we ask you to do is do a self-check. Those that have been trained in the world of combat, those that have been trained in the world of first responder, first of all, know you walk into a scenario, not run into a scenario, because you want to make sure you can get as much intel as you can. You're going to assess. You're looking. But right now we're assessing ourselves personally, individually. You are checking to see if all your parts are intact, if there are no oozing, goozing orifices. You might need to see a doctor for some of that stuff, especially if there's jelly or jam involved, I guess. That's what Check yourself. Make sure you're in a good place. And if you're not, reach out to your brothers, sisters that you trust. Reach out to an organization. And worst case scenario, but a tool that you can use, dial your 988 and get the supports you need. I can tell you, if you text my number for sure, because this was different over the last 8 years, it's changed a tiny bit. If you text my number, I will reach back to you immediately. Tell me who you are, and let me know what's going on. 763-238-5971. It used to be call, but the thing is, I get so many calls and so many interactions in a day now, and a lot of them are scams. A lot of them are bots. A lot of them are just not just nonsense. I don't do the calls. Now, if there's a voicemail there, I'll get to the voicemail. But again, there are so many voicemails. But a text is another thing. I will reach back to you, brothers and sisters. That's a promise. That's a guarantee. 100% guarantee. We have to be in the position of saying there is not a 100% guarantee we can help you, but we can support you. And we will get you the resources or get you to a resource that you can use. And again, we don't hand off with referring or giving you a phone number, an email, a website. We make direct contact, and we make sure that there is something there to support you. And that's our role. That's what we do. I took on an interesting role this weekend as an advocacy group for a veteran lady that might be getting scammed by a construction company who said they had installed her fence and about 30,000 deep into a fence, and it's not good. So I just make a polite phone call and say, hey, you taking care of our girl? Haven't got a message back, but maybe that'll come tomorrow. Anyway, check yourself. Check where you're at. Check. The next thing we want you to do is get into a message thread of what your choice. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, texting, whatever you want to do. And you're going to type in just checking on you. You're going to copy that statement and you're going to paste it into 6 conversations of someone in your contact files. I don't know. Normally I say something else, but I can't remember right off the hand. In your, not your guest list, on your
friends list.
Friends list. Sure. Could be your friends list. Yeah, that works. Anyone
Contact.
Just checking on you. That's your, or our, check your 6. So get that done, folks. Mr. Frank.
Sure.
Had a request of a song, or not a song, but a talent he wanted to hear tonight. I got to remember the alphabet real quick because, Frank, where'd Frank go? We'll add him here. I don't know why you disappeared. That's what happens when you slip into other studios. He's got a guy that he really enjoys listening to. And we like listening to him too. But now I am wondering if I got my alphabet wrong. Do I have my alphabet wrong?
No.
I must have my alphabet wrong because I don't see in the, there it is. I found it.
You ask these questions, yet we have no idea what you're
I know, because I don't know my alphabet enough. T-U-V-W. V is before W, but it hasn't been organized yet. So we got a good friend down in Nashville. He's been on a couple times, and we really love the message he has in all of his music. And so we are going to play a little Romeo Vaughn over.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Romeo. You'll be back.
I taste I love you every time that we kiss. Feel the forever in your fingertips. Your eyes are saying I want you. It ain't like I don't want to, but there's a real fine line that runs between what you want and what I need. Guess what I'm trying to say is I think we're in two different places. Let me find out. I don't wanna spend another night knowing I'll miss you in the morning, laying down my heart on the line. All I got, so take it if you want it. This is where we start or where we end. 'Cause I ain't getting over you again. I know he said no strings attached, but the heart wants what it wants, and it's wanting you back. I know you're thinking I'm crazy, but I've been thinking here lately. I don't wanna spend another night knowing I'll miss you in the morning, laying down my heart on the line. All I got, so take it if you want it. This is where we start or where we end. 'Cause I ain't getting over you again. I don't wanna spend another night knowing I'll miss you in the morning, laying down my heart on the line. All I got, so take it if you want it. This is where we start or where we end. 'Cause I ain't getting over you again. I don't wanna spend another night knowing I'll miss you in the morning, laying down my heart on the line. All I got, so take it if you want it. This is where we start or where we end. 'Cause I ain't getting over you again.
That is Romeo Vaughn over.
That is such a good song. Gosh.
He is so talented. And that's one of those that you just, again, constantly question. Why do we not hear more of Romeo Vaughn? But you know what? We've got over 200 artists on WeP3 Radio that you could question the same thing. Why are we not hearing more of?
What just happened?
What is going on?
It would not let me go back to the regular one, like when you were having troubles earlier.
Yeah.
But it let me go back to the one studio, the backup one.
Well, we're in number one right now.
I just put us there.
Oh.
After I got into the backup one.
Oh, fair enough.
Then it let me into this one. I don't know what the heck.
Yeah, good old technology. Well, we can blame it on Frank because he doesn't know if it's happening or not.
Who does number 2 work for?
Right here. News. What about the news?
Roll it. Roll that beautiful can of bean footage.
News.
There is no news.
No news to be
I
had.
need no stinking news. Hold on. Let me get this in order. All right. For the news today, the first thing I found, which I thought was, and you know we don't like to do politics. Politics is just not something to talk about. But in this case, the administration has decided to file suit against the state of California for giving in-state tuition to immigrants who are in the U.S. illegally. So it turns out that the state of California is not only giving in-state tuition to illegal immigrants or people who are here undocumented, I guess that's a better term, but they are also given financial aid and other things. The issue is that there's people in California who are citizens who have not gotten those things that they had requested. So, in addition to California, the administration has also filed similar lawsuits against policies in Illinois, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Kentucky, and Texas. So now they've added California to it. And I really, I don't have any opinion on this, but I don't think it's correct to have someone who's here illegally get things that citizens do not. So that's that. The next story we have, airlines have finally decided to cancel flights to Venezuela after the FAA warned of worsening security and military activity in the country. This is probably something they should have done as soon as the Armada got near the coast, but now they've decided that they will cancel flights to Venezuela for a period of time until the situation becomes better. There's several airlines that have taken part in this, and there's 6 carriers that have indefinitely suspended flights. TAP, LATAM, Avianca, Iberia, GAL, and Caribbean. And Turkish Airlines suspended flights for the holiday weekend. It would seem that this situation is going to be on for a while, and there's other issues that have evolved from this, and those are in the news now, but they're not fully developed, and I will try to have that on next week's show. The third one that I have for news, the talk of peace plans between Ukraine and Russia is still continuing. The original plan that was submitted was a 28-point plan that the United States submitted, and it caused a huge amount of backlash from European countries and Ukraine. So they're working on fine-tuning the plan. The president of Ukraine supports a peace plan, but this one needs to be further developed before he can get behind it. And Russia, of course, does not seem to be in favor of it. And if it was their choice, I think they would continue fighting until they had control of the entire country. But I don't think that would happen. So we'll see how this peace plan works out, and I'll also keep this one updated. And lastly, I can't believe this happened. There's no animals involved in this story, so everybody can take a breath, and maybe next week we'll have another animal story. But in Missouri, there was a judge who decided it was appropriate to wear an Elvis wig and play music in the courtroom. Well, not surprisingly, he has decided to step down. So they boxed up all of his stuff, and as he was leaving his office, the only thing they heard was, "Thank you. Thank you very much." And that's the news.
I don't believe you on that one.
It's true.
Is it the guy? I mean, You guys remember Night Court? And in fact, Night Court has actually brought back a new.
Well, that's why he had to wear an Elvis wig.
Because it was Night Court?
No, because he didn't have that much hair.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lordy.
I got an Elvis wig.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, it's kind of an old one, though.
Elvis never got like that.
Well, eventually he did. Not while he was walking this earth, though.
You're kind of morbid. Hey, we got someone to bring on here, folks. We
cool.
Things worked out. Looks like maybe the storms have subsided, and we have our guest of the evening is here. And sorry, Frank, you get demoted again. You made it to the pretty line for a second. Now you get demoted again and get to hang it down here with me again. We have Mrs. Madhuri Govindu with us. How did I massacre it really bad?
Just a song.
We'll have her say her name for herself and introduce herself as well. I thought I was doing a good job, but again,
you did.
Okay. Tell us who you are and tell us about your mission.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, viewers. And thank you, Frank, for having me here. It's a tad bit late because of the storms, but the internet God blessed me, restored. And I'm like, yay, I can see all of you and talk to you about my mission, my book. I'm Madhuri, so you almost got it right? Madhuri. And I have been a psychotherapist for veterans for a long time now, but a bit about my background. I've worked with giants like Google, Accenture, HSBC, Cisco, and a couple more for the last close to 2 decades. Before I dropped everything, went back to school for 5 years and got my associates and masters in clinical mental health counseling from Pennsylvania Western University and started working with veterans. And I specialize in trauma, complex PTSD, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, but my specialization is trauma. And I have been working with veterans for a long time now. And that is what brought me to my mission. That is what brought me to be with all of you here. And I can tell you more about what I'm doing these days. Thank you for the question, Mark. My mission, let's talk about that. They want to show the viewers this book that I had written called Thank You for Your Service, Learning to Honor with Heart. And I just want to tell you more about what am I doing these days with the book. So the story behind my mission, and my mission is to create a solid awareness and to bridge the gap between civilians and veterans. Because although this wasn't a journey that started with veterans, this was more accidental and then became intentional. And I want to probably tell you a bit more about how did this book come into life. I was just sitting with one of the veterans in a therapy session, and the veteran asked me, you guys keep saying thank you for your service and thank you for your service. Do you guys even know the weight of these words, thank you for your service? Do you know what we have done? Do you know how you guys breathe easy and you just say, hey, thank you for your service, like a salutation? And it is way deeper than saying thank you for your service for us. And I think that is the moment this book was born, because I realized that sometimes when we have everything, we take a lot of things for granted. And thank you for your service was a phrase that I felt as a nation, some of us, maybe most of us, have taken for granted. And that is how this book came into life. This book talks about how these words carry a lot of weight for the veterans, and how can we genuinely appreciate them, not just say thank you for your service, but how can we genuinely appreciate them. And it explores the emotional and psychological barriers that often go unseen, and it offers a clear path for civilians, therapists, and veterans, all of them. And my mission here is to ensure this book reaches the audience widespread so that they can read more about veteran experiences and where are we lacking. And that's what I'll talk about more in our talk today. But that is just a bit of my intro and my mission to begin with, Mark.
Well, it's appealing in a lot of ways, but I want to ask the question, I mean, why U.S. veterans? I mean, we talked a little pre-show about this. Why is that your passion? Not that it can't be anybody's passion, but we support veterans and first responders in America. And our country is, some people say it's the tossed salad. Some people say it's the melting pot. I mean, I'm excited about the opportunities we've created for people that have come to our country, but you don't necessarily have a foundation, or you did not start in America, but this is your passion. Can you take us down that path a little bit?
Yeah. Let's talk about that. A valid question. I'm not a veteran. I've never been in a war myself. And then why? Why do I feel I need to choose the US veterans out of everyone? Being a psychotherapist and being a veterans ambassador, being someone who works for this organization called Veterans Room, it just started with one veteran, but then I have spoken to hundreds of them for the last so many years. And there was one common theme that I saw, which was this population, Mark, was carrying a heavy psychological load with limited culturally competent support. So you call it, they dealing with trauma, reintegration struggles, moral injury, identity shifts. How many civilians, or what part of civilians will go through a dual impacted life here? This is almost living a dual life, is what I had seen. As a psychotherapist sitting in those sessions, I realized that this need to choose the US veterans is real, is urgent, and it's deeply human, because they were unpacking their massive emotional weight and beyond what they have seen and done in the war. They come back with trauma, reintegration struggles, the moral injury, or their complete identity shift. And on top of that, I saw that the gap was too huge to ignore. It was really huge to ignore, because when they reintegrate into the civilian world, they are unsure of how to navigate. That kind of a disconnect leads to isolation on one side, confusion on the other side. And I had to choose veterans because I felt there were a lot of things that they were not able to voice out. For example, when a veteran comes back and if they have had complex PTSD, then they are literally living in two worlds, but they are just showing up. They're showing up in the civilian world with discipline, with sacrifice, with resilience, but they are navigating identity loss, silence, trauma. What if I blow up? I'm actually observing everyone when I'm going into Walmart or a Kroger, and I don't want others to know that I'm noticing them, but that is all coming from my habit. That is all is coming from my conditioned mind. I could literally see this population sitting with dual identities. I'm just trying to be as calm, as sane as possible. At the same time, there is a part of me that has questions, confusion, shock, and the huge pressure to reintegrate while answering questions that are bizarre. Where were you posted? How many people did you kill? Did you not choose this? And they have no idea how to navigate this. And the more I heard the stories of trauma, military sexual trauma, mothers along with their daughters who are never able to, in 22 years of a marriage, they have been able to speak about their military sexual trauma to anyone. And they sit in those sessions, unwind, cry and say, I need help. To answer your question more precisely, the wait list is huge. The wait list to get some help is huge right now. I have had people who had waited for 4 to 8 months, sometimes a year, just to speak to a psychotherapist in a safe space as a veteran. And that startled my heart. And that's where I realized that if there is one, and as we did a pre-talk show, if you have no mission and if you want to choose one mission, then please choose the mission, because veterans deserve more than symbolic appreciation. A quick thank you for your service doesn't touch the complexity of their lived experience. That's where I realized that civilians can back up their gratitude with more actual empathy, meaningful actions, because their stories moved me and it demanded advocacy. And that's where I felt that healing veterans means strengthening our society, because they risk their lives, and the least they are expecting from us is in every way possible make the thank you for your service into something more genuine for us. And as a society, there was a need to push everyone past the polite gratitude that we show to them. So that's the reason, US veterans, because the necessity, the need, their trauma, their wounds are way deeper than what we can see with our naked eyes right now. And still, only if you be there in their shoes is when you actually realize how big those shoes are. And that is what almost provoked me to hold this mission right now.
Why do you think there is such a deficit in supports for our veteran population?
Yeah. Now, you know that there are a lot of civilians who absolutely do not understand the military experience at all. And I have to say this loud and clear right now. A lot of civilians do not understand the military experience at all. Most people have zero exposure to deployment, combat stress, a rigid structure. Why is a veteran always on a survival mindset? And veterans, a lot of times, they build toughness and self-reliance, but they also do not open up a lot, right? A lot of veterans also don't ask for help because sometimes it feels like weakness, and their needs, according to them, they feel it should stay invisible. And I'm coming to your point, your question now, which is the mental health system. As much as organizations are trying, there are a lot of protocols, there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of protocols, a lot of layers that one needs to go through before they are sitting in front of a psychotherapist. So this veterans room I work for, these services are absolutely free for veterans, and we offer them free services because they deserve free services. But there is so much of wait list also because of so many veterans coming back, getting reintegrated. And I would also say our mental health system isn't built for military culture. Embarrassed, slightly ashamed, but I'll say it, that we also need a lot of civilians, therapists who have to be military literate, right? We civilians can unintentionally say things that can shut veterans down. So even when help is available, it sometimes doesn't always fit. And reintegration is way more complex than what people assume. So there are a lot of bureaucratic layers, readiness, civilian readiness, therapist readiness, veterans readiness to even open up, and the zero exposure to deployment, combat stress, etc. I would say a lot of these factors are holding this gap right now. And in veterans room and in my own psychotherapy practices, through the usage of my website, Instagram, LinkedIn, this book that I have written, speaking to all these corporate professionals in different organizations I've spoken about, I'm trying to spread this message that we are holding up a group of therapists who are, number one, military culture trained. They know what is military sexual trauma. They know how a PTSD and a complex PTSD in a civilian can differ from that for a veteran. So we are creating an army of trained clinicians who can be available for so many veterans who need help but are extremely slow in getting help right now. So those are some of the things I'm doing. But I can tell you this, there is so much more that needs to be done. And as I'm talking to you, I know the numbers are giant. The people who need help and a completely military trained mental health system. The gap is still huge. And maybe that is where I'm stepping in to see how we can expand it so that every veteran who comes back from a war or reintegrates into civilian life gets absolutely free mental health psychiatry services. But the need is high. Yeah. So those were some of the things right there.
No, yeah, that's such a, because we understand in the world of our world, and again we isolate to the United States because that's our demographic. There is a shortage in supporting all mental health having a lot. So when you offer, and I love your idea. I mean, there's a couple of spaces that I think in our world, I think we should easily be able to cover. I don't think a person in our country should have to suffer, worry, or deal with food thoughts or not having a meal. I think we should be able to feed everyone in our country. That's my opinion. I don't think a veteran should be able to be homeless. I think we should be able to provide a place for every veteran in our country who is struggling with housing. We should be able to find a way to house them. And mental health. I mean, do I think we need to figure that? I don't know how to figure that piece out in the fact that we have to have the professionals willing to go into the industry to deal with the mental health. And then the other piece is you got to have the people willing to go receive those services to receive their supports in mental health. And so I am more than willing to travel down that path of trying to figure out how can we accomplish more. And again, more than willing to let you're the professional in this area. What are the solutions for those pieces?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you're onboarded, and I know that the shortage is real because the veterans' mental health needs are outpacing the system. So I appeal to whoever listening here, and I'll continue to appeal through my own YouTube channel and all social media forms of communication, that in every group practice, in every private practice, if you are a mental health organization, save some slots, allot some slots to every therapist to offer a couple of hours free for all the veterans and advertise it. If you are if I have a website, and if you are a veteran, a couple of hours of services, 6 sessions, 10 sessions are free for you, so that we can at least start with the cognitive behavioral therapy, the basic 6 to 10 sessions therapy, and if needed, more. But I urge to whoever is listening this right now, I urge that have some free slots, even for psychotherapy purposes, psychiatry purposes, for veterans. That's what we are doing at Veterans Room right now. And there is also a need on how do we talk to veterans beyond what psychotherapists can do. For example, we'll stick to psychotherapists for a moment. Get EMDR trained, get those certifications, understand more about the military culture. When you have, I mean, it's not only about the Veterans Day and the other occasions that we have related to veterans, but in general, take the time out to speak to a veteran near you. These real life conversations that we have, and I'm going to quote this example here, just how can a seemingly harmless conversation with a veteran can open doors for them. We're speaking to a veteran lost some of the disability benefits because of inconsistent paperwork that got lost in miscommunication. Inconsistent paperwork got lost in miscommunication, lost disability benefits. Some of them, they just depend on the paycheck that comes from the military, and there is no other backup plan. And that's why they say life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. And this one veteran was busy, was just, okay, life's normal, this is what I do. And boom, this happens, right? A curveball, and they do not know what to do. A seemingly innocent conversation on, let me sit and listen. All they say is, hey, don't try to fix me. Do not try to heal me, because you do not even know how deep my wounds are. Even if you can create that safe, non-judgmental space for a veteran to sit down and talk, that in itself is so relieving for them. Speaking to this veteran, we just brainstormed in half an hour, Mark. Brainstormed. Hey, what is that we can do? What is the locus of control, right? What is in my control? What is not in my control? What is in my control? What are some of my skill sets here? Brainstormed, mind dumping, mind mapping, half an hour. And this veteran tells me that, you know what? I have some experience with building the gun covers, the covers where you put your guns and safeguard them. I have some experience creating those. I'm going to start a small business right from my basement. Begin with one, sell it out to 1 or 2 stores. Let's see where it goes from there. We continue to talk, quick check-in every week. Hey, how are you doing? I'm going to share those details with all of you once we are done with this call. But this holsters business that the veteran had created, they just out of nowhere, with sheer hopelessness of, I think this is almost the end of my life, to one innocent conversation, innocent but intentional, the veteran could create a small business of his own. And that business is flourishing so huge right now, with a full-fledged website and supplying to all these huge stores so that everyone can protect their arms. And that was real help. And what we did is nothing. Just stay there and normalize a tough conversation. So as civilians, what we can do, while therapists can offer free therapy, get trained, speak to a veteran, as civilians, I think we also have to normalize the tough conversations. You bring the mental health out of the shadow into the open in ways that feels accessible, not clinical. And I think that alone reduces a lot of isolation. So one-on-one, heartfelt, soulful talk with a veteran can also help them reduce a lot of isolation. There are so many other things that we can do. I would love to brainstorm with you, but those are some of the things that we can do to begin with. Normalize tough conversations, and for therapists and psychiatrists, offer free slots for all the veterans. Do extensive marketing, that we have X number of therapists who can offer you X number of hours absolutely free for veterans. Those are some to begin with.
Those are some pretty amazing tools, and it helps open my eyes, open my heart open, because I think what ends up happening is we hear all these terrible stories of veterans, and I'm going to say first responders as well, who are beating their heads trying to find the resources and the help, and they don't know where to go. And so one of the missions that we're working on is building a one-stop shop hub, a conduit of information that lets people know by state, by region, by country, all those pieces, what specific helps them. And let's be frank, a lot of times our veterans and or people that are needing help in these areas don't know exactly what they need. And so it does need to start off with a conversation. It does need to start off with a realization that it has to be real. When our veterans are reaching out for help, they're in crisis now. They didn't think about this. There wasn't a plan. Now they need help, and because they've dug in too deep. They thought that they could handle the load. They thought that they could handle all the stuff. That's the way they've been trained. We've talked about this over and over and over again. But at the end of the day, when they reach out, they're in crisis. They need help right now. So it's a good to have another resource that accommodates those pieces. Derek Iozio is still out there listening. He's one of the reasons why we brought you onto the show. He doesn't get to be part of our show because he's busy doing peer support. He is doing and having those conversations. I should start getting royalties and get paid for this, but if you listen to Andy Frizilla, that is another person. Have the real conversations. Now, he brings a little anguish in it because he brings a lot of personal truth. You know what? If you poop the bed, whose fault is that? That is your, I mean, maybe there's stuff that makes you poop the bed. That happens too. But at the end of the day, no one else wants to deal with that. No one wants to. That is your issue. That is your stuff. That is so. But there are people out there that are committed, like our guest, who want to be part of that rebuild, that recalibration, that restorative piece that gets you back into a place where you can focus. We're going to hear more.
Yeah.
We're going to hear more here in a second. Miss Eichmann has put out her request for tonight's music with, and she's going classic, going back in the day. I'm going to say year 2 of WeP3 podcast, live podcast world, and WeP3 radio. We got Sal Gonzalez with Heroes.
They threw him a party the day that he got home. Oh, and they called him a hero, but he felt all alone. Surrounded by his family and all his friends but one. Oh, he lost him in that country to a buried roadside bomb. When his dad stood up and said, our hero has returned, he looked down at his scars and his purple heart and said, Dad, you know that hurts, 'cause that told me to not sound grateful, 'cause the good Lord knows I am, for sparing me my life on the day he took my friend. But I still wish that I had gone with him, or maybe even took his place. Oh, but destiny didn't lead me that way. So I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but heroes ain't the ones who make it home. He said Danny had a daughter that he'll never get to see. And I know that he was proud, but he was only 23. And they gave me this medal, pinned it on my uniform. But this piece of tin don't mean a thing, no, if it can't bring them home. So I told me to not sound grateful, 'cause the good Lord knows I am, for sparing me my life on the day he took my friend. But I still wish that I had gone with him, maybe even took his place. Oh, but destiny didn't lead me that way. I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but heroes ain't the ones who make it hard. I'm grateful, 'cause the good Lord knows I am, for sparing me my life on the day he took my friends. But I still wish that I'd gone with them. Every day I'd take their place. All my destiny did lead me that way. So I'm not trying to say you're wrong. Yes, I am. 'Cause heroes ain't the ones who make it home. Heroes ain't the ones who make it home.
That is Sal Gonzalez with Heroes. And that video just brings back so much for me, only in the fact that all the people in that video are people of our world. We got Travis McVeigh, who owns Heroes Vodka. That's kind of got a little product placement there. He's down in Nashville. Then we got Brian Romans of Romans Warrior Foundation and the Wall of the Wall Terror. And then we've got Jason Johnson, who runs Canine. I can't remember the name of it right offhand.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is, I was sitting here trying to get it all in my head before the thing came back on. But we got it. We got it. K9 Project K9 Hero.
There we go. I knew Hero was in there. Ooh.
Yeah. We work with so many dog-related organizations that I was struggling with the exact phrasing of his organization, but had the wonderful blessing of literally hanging with all of them last year for the Label 22 drop and the organization launch down in Nashville. What an amazing blessing day with Chris Turner, Scotty Hastings, and the list goes on and on. Stephen Cochran, just amazing musicians and just amazing conversations and people getting it done. Cody Howell was there. Just amazing stuff. But so when I watch that video, if you know the background of the lyric, our young man there is a combat wounded amputee, Mr. Sal Gonzalez. And now, for the record, if you see Sal Gonzalez today compared to that, he's made a life change. He is, I won't say healthier looking, but he's definitely lighter looking. And not that I'm sure he's healthier too, but again, just as doing things that makes his life better. But just an amazing soul doing amazing things with amazing talent, and just love having that whole crew in our network and what's happening with the People's Patriot Project. I'm gun shy because I don't want to mess up your name again. That's
oh no, Madhuri.
Madhuri. What are the pieces that you're putting into action and putting into motion right now? What is your mission and organization? What are you focused on at this time?
Sure. So, as a professional who has been working with veterans so closely, I've kind of divided two sets of actions that I'm taking right now. I've got another book that I'm writing for veterans, and this is purely for those who have a very high tendency or called suicidal tendencies. And the numbers are as high as 17 a day in the US right now. The attempt is to lower these numbers as soon as possible, because there is absolutely no bigger irony as a nation to lose even one veteran. So part of what I'm doing right now through my TED Talks, I have 2 TED Talks coming up, one in March in Raleigh, one in New York later next year. And both are dedicated to talking about how we can help more veterans and have more societal awareness created for them. So as a professional, what I'm doing is I am educating myself more and more to become military literate. I don't want any physician, psychotherapist, mental health professional to guess. I think as professionals, I'm helping a lot of other professionals to stop guessing, understand the rank structure, deployment cycles, reintegration stress, the moral injury, the unspoken rules of military culture, which is mentioned in my book right now. So I'm as much as creating content, talking, going on these TED Talks, and I addressed 600 counselors in Florida this March and helped them become more military literate. That's one thing I'm doing. And also promoting a lot of organizations, these big giants like Google, Microsoft, HSBC, Accenture, where I've worked to have real accessibility to the book. The book is being a part of the onboarding process with professionals right now. So the moment you join an organization, you're gifted the book so that you read it and understand, if I have a fellow veteran in my organization, what are my clear do's and don'ts? What to say, what not to say. Even when you know what to say, then how to say. I'm working on that with a lot of organizations. Anyone listening to this, if they have an organization, absolutely happy to jump into your onboarding, employee onboarding process to help. There are a lot of organizations who invite me for a short 45 minutes, an hour talk, so that I can educate the current employees more on, hey, you have 100 people joining in, 10 of them are veterans. How can you be more military literate? That's a part of what I'm doing. Also advocating a lot of organizations right now to have flexible scheduling, telehealth, sliding scale, free services, shorter wait times, and help them have a culturally aligned therapy model. That's also something that I'm working on. EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Doing a lot of work with therapists right now so that they can get trained on EMDR. To whoever is listening, and if you are a veteran or a therapist or a civilian, more than the talk therapy, EMDR has been extremely wonderful in offering skilled care and not just generalized therapy. And I'm also prioritizing relational safety over clinical jargon. I'm helping a lot of therapists understand the military language so that they respond with authenticity. I think that is a part of my bigger mission. And how am I helping civilians understand? The other part, wonderful individuals like you who called me over, some practical, doable, no drama steps. I'm going to just give 5, and I know you have so much to share today. So I'm just going to give 5 to all the civilians right now. Please listen without interrogating, right? Ask open, pressure free questions. Is there anything you want me to know about you and what you're navigating through right now? Can I, permission, right? May I ask you this question before you actually ask a question, right? So listen without interrogating, stop making assumptions. Not all veterans want to talk about service. Not all trauma looks dramatic, and not all struggles are visible. And offer support that is consistent, not occasional. You show up, check in, follow through in a consistent, safe way, not occasional, not that the entire patriotism in our heart is oozing out on a Veterans Day. Oh my God, it's a Veterans Day, a Memorial Day. No, they need somebody to show up, check in, and follow through. And as a society, we also need to understand that we need to create spaces, not solutions. Veterans never ask for fixing them. They just need one stable human to sit down and listen and offer them a non-judgmental space. And that is, as a nation, as a community, will help us reduce isolation, right? So those are some of the pieces that I'm doing, educating therapists, educating civilians and empowering veterans that hang in there, we as a society can do a better job in creating the safer space for you. Hang in there so that we can see a culture shift coming in a couple of years right now. Give us a little time. I'm begging for forgiveness on behalf of the nation and saying that give us a little time, we'll show up, we'll do better. So Mark, that's what I'm doing right now.
I appreciate all of those pieces that are said, because some of the question that comes into my head is, it's like any battle plan you get in, you have to create the plan first. And sadly, while you're creating the plan, there's still casualties of the ill that is in place. And so that it's scary, but you're right. But the other part is we can't continue to sit on our heels or sit on the couch and do nothing, because doing nothing that's your byproduct. You don't get anything back. You don't get anything in return. And brothers and sisters that are struggling, that are hearing this, you as well have to be a part of the solution at some point.
Yes.
You have found a way to get into this space, and it may be events, it may be stuff. Some of it may be associated and or related to your military or first responder service, but we're also finding out a majority of this, that of the by or post reaction of behaviors, thoughts, and ideas actually is unresolved things prior to service that have never been taken care of, because we're sending 17 to 20-year-old young men and women into the service. And sometimes that's the time and place for them to hide and bury and stack on stuff. So now you are career people, or you have transitioned from the military, and I'm sorry, but if you're a 4-year service member, you've just basically delayed the pieces that you haven't dealt with. If you are a career military person, you've learned to adapt in a different environment, and that's that space. But the delay of 4 years is like, in all honesty, if you held a sixth grader back for 4 years going into school, you still got to educate yourself in the world in space. You still have to learn how to function in the world that everyone else functions in. That's there. You have to. And so there's no get out of jail free card. There's no go and get your $200 card or process. You have to dig in and be part of it. And you have to own you. You have to own what you've done. You have to own the piece. Now, you don't have to own what others have done, but you have to acknowledge, build, and grow. And we need people like our therapists here and those that are willing to learn, educate, and be part of the solution. This is just, I think I have a song that kind of fits with this. And this will be our last song of the night. We'll come back. We'll find out what is the big picture now, where the final pieces of where we're going with our guest, and then we'll have our final thoughts. But this has been, I kind of feel it's a little cliche. If Andrea, help me with pushing buttons here, because we might lose some people. It's cliche, and this is another good friend. We haven't had him on. That's all right. The podcast world won't know, but we know. This song sits so cool. It's so cool, and I don't even know the right word. I was going to make up a word. Omnuistic. Is that a word? Let's pretend it's
it is
a word.
now it is.
Yeah, omnuistic of life, and this battle here. And listen to the lyric here. This is a really good friend, Scotty Hastings, Dolly Parton is featured in this song as well. To give you a little history, Scotty is a combat wounded veteran. Shot a number of times and had to relearn physically a gigantic piece. But there's another feature in this song. I'm trying to remember who it is. Bryce. Not Bo Bice.
Lee Bryce.
Lee Bryce. Thank you. Dolly Parton, Lee Bryce, and Scotty Hastings till the last shot's fired.
I was there in the winter of '64, camped in the ice at Nashville's door. 300 miles on trail and led. We barely had time to bury our dead. When the smoke cleared and the colors fell, Overton Hill was a living hell. When we called retreat, it was almost dawn. I died with a grave shot in my heart. Say a prayer for peace, for every falling sun. Set my spirit free. Let me lay down my gun. Sweet Mother Mary, I'm so tired, but I can't come home till the last shot's fired. I was there on the beach in '44, waded through the blood of Omaha shore. I was 21 and scared to death, my heart pounding in my chest. I almost made the old seawall when my friends turned and watched me fall. I still smell the smoke, I can taste the mud as I lay there dying from a loss of blood. Say a prayer for peace, for every falling sun, and set my spirit free. Let me lay down my gun. Sweet Mother Mary, I'm so tired, but I can't come home till the last shot's fired. I'm in the fields of Vietnam, the mountains of Afghanistan, and I'm still waiting, hoping, praying I did not die in vain.
Say a prayer for peace, for every daughter and every son.
Set our spirits free. Let us lay down our guns. Sweet Mother Mary, we're so tired, but we can't come home till the last shot's fired. Sweet Mother, till the last shot's fired. Let's all pray the Sunday soon the last shot will be fired.
Pray for peace.
That is Scotty Hastings with last shot fired till the last shot's fired. Pray for peace. That's, I don't know why the song's not, maybe that's a marketing piece. Why is it not called Pray for Peace? Because that needs to be the action. More than I here's my deal on praying. We're going to get into a deep philosophical conversation about prayer. If you're going to sit on your couch and do nothing but pray, you're not getting the job done. You got to put some action to it. You got to live the life. You got to be involved. You got to be the action. I don't think prayer alone is what it's supposed to, or what it was meant to be. That's the easy way out, folks. That's my opinion. If you are just praying and doing nothing else other than just sit. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there are some amazing prayer warriors out there that are sit there and they're driving force on, and they're getting people involved and stuff. But there has to be action involved as well. There has to be, because if there is no action, it's the same thing that we talked about earlier. It's the byproduct of doing nothing is you getting nothing.
Well, it's like our last show where we had a talk about this, and when I was going through my bad period, I felt like I was told, and it sounds funny for people that don't have beliefs, but I felt like I was told, tell them, and I didn't know what it meant, but in my books, I try to tell people who haven't served what it's like to serve, what happens to people when they're deployed, when you see friends and other soldiers wounded or killed, and hoping that spreading awareness to people who have not served, which is the vast majority of people in our country, will awaken them to what the needs are and just the understanding, I guess. I don't know.
And I won't say the name. We've got a person that I listen to quite a bit. I know he's not a veteran as well, but and again, being tired, being hurt is all part of the recipe for success. But what's not a recipe for success is sitting back and waiting for it. I'm paraphrasing his comments and such, but again, and that's not the notion that I know it sucks. I know I haven't been shot 10 times in Afghanistan. Have not. Scotty Hastings has. He could have sat there and said, woe is me, life is, for Pete's sakes. He didn't know how to play the guitar. He had to tape his guitar pick to his hand to learn how to play the guitar. Resiliency. And again, if you don't know how to apply resiliency, you need to learn that piece. There's a team that is willing to walk behind and with you to help carry the load. But I don't think maybe there are. Maybe it's the condition of the heart piece. I don't know that anyone's going to carry the entire load for somebody for them to sit back and do nothing. I've been duped a few times. I'm not going to lie. There's been a couple of moments in my life where I've been duped where I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. All in, and the resources are gone. There's so there's so many dynamics. We can get into so many conversations with this. Bottom line is you have to have faith, and it's not necessarily faith in the deity, but a faith in yourself that you can get through the next step, and you got to take the step. That's it. What movie is that where you have to take that leap of faith? And I don't know. I'm going weird.
I thought it was the Wham song.
Wham song?
Gotta have
Take the leap
faith.
of faith? I don't think
Just
so.
gotta have faith.
I will have to look that one, Eichmann.
Faith.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
You know, when I hear songs like that, I mean, maybe it's because I write, but I can just visualize the song, and I can see the action in my mind. And that's why a lot of times when I hear stuff like that, it really, really strikes a chord.
Yeah. No, I don't know what it is about that song. Every time it comes on WP3 radio, it grabs my attention.
Yep.
And the actions are so simple, to be honest with you. And he talks about, from, I'm having a moment now, but the
Civil War and World War II.
Yeah. He visited this last year. It's not Iwo Jima.
Normandy.
France. Normandy. Thank you. He visited Normandy, and that's one of his lyric lines is from, the shores of Normandy to Afghanistan. And, of course, that's a little shorter distance than to the United States, but nonetheless. Oh, gosh, my brain went there. I'm sorry, folks. You realize the war is on our streets of the United States right now?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Here's a big topic.
Yeah. When our soldiers are being shot on the streets of our capital, that's a problem, folks. And you're going to piss some people off, and you know what? Find her out. That's a good thing I effed that up right off the bat.
Well, they'll dig into this, and they'll find a lot of things that they probably should have known beforehand, but nobody drives across the country to target individuals.
And quit pointing the finger. I don't care. Quit pointing the finger for people that are just going to do crappy stuff, man. That's not a left or right thing. I don't care. Stop. Just stop it.
Yep.
Why would I be signed out of my Google stuff right now, right in the middle of the show?
Oh my gosh, what happened?
What is the next big thing for your mission?
Yeah, Mark, as the song said, right? We are working and we are waiting and we are trying to work our lives around with people who are saying, I can't come home till the last shots are fired. And that's how important and sensitive this is. Because just because you have not been there and you have not been in their shoes, you cannot trivialize the experiences that they had. My bigger mission is to reshape how, as a society, as a nation, we show up for veterans. Not just on important days and saying mere thank you for your service, but I'm trying to push past that surface level and trying my best to build a culture where every veteran across the United States feels genuinely seen, understood, and supported. So the bigger mission is to close the empathy gap between the military and the civilian life by giving people, therapists, civilians, the tools, language, and awareness they've never been taught. And this isn't just about mental health. It's about restoring that connection and dignity and belonging for a community. This is a community that has carried far too much all alone. So where am I heading with this scale is to create something real, sustainable, and turn this work into a broader platform that can reach communities, workplaces, families, professionals nationwide by building training, conversation systems that can make support more accessible, practical, not overwhelming or confusing. So I would say this is me launching a movement that changes how we respond to veterans' needs in real time. There's something beautiful that you said. You said, right now. They need help right now. Bloody be creatively, emotionally intelligent right now. And that's the only way we have to stand up as a nation to ensure no veteran has to navigate in silence, in pain ever again. That is where I'm taking my mission with right now, to create that awareness in every soul as much as possible.
You got a super amazing heart there, young lady. I have a super spicy heart. And again, it's a lot of things I want to say right now. I should probably save for my final thoughts is what I should do. The kind of funny thing the other day is I've been listening to a person that has been influencing me a lot lately. And Miss Eichmann has noticed that I've kind of changed my demeanor a little bit and made the statement, something along the lines, you're trying to be him or trying to look like him. And I'm like, no, I'm just finally noticing myself and who I am. And this is me. And we play super nice on this show, on this episode, and on this stuff. I play super nice. I got a little bit of. I'll wait. Frank,
okay.
You with us?
Yep.
Final thoughts, brother.
Well, my final thoughts kind of take back to what happened in D.C. Those two people were from my state. And they went to D.C. because they were told to go to D.C. And they were there on orders. And they had no malice, no bad intentions toward anybody there. They were just there because that's where they were told to go. And unfortunately, somebody traveled all the way across our country in a car to target people in the military. Now, I thought that we were well past that in this country. And evidently, we're not. And maybe it's because this person was an immigrant that came to our country. Maybe it's because he had some issue with the military. I don't know, but hopefully they find out what the root cause was and they can work on it before he's executed. Because as much as I am open to other punishment, I firmly believe that he should have the death penalty and it should be executed swiftly and not with 9 appeals and years in prison. But sometimes you have to look at our system and say that that's our system and we're here to defend our country and support it. But you just can't help as a human being to wonder why an assassin, a murderer, gets to live his life out a little longer than the people he targeted without any reason and was there for nothing but to kill. And God help us if we can't figure this out.
Miss Eichmann.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for keeping that real. There's a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas around just all of that, and you can't just pick a headline. There's just so much more. And then I want to look at, so I have my book. My book came and I opened it a couple times, and that's about as far as I got. I had a house full of people for the last 4 days. So tonight, that'll be my before bed treat, will be to read a bit. Thank you very much. And I just want to thank you for your enthusiasm and hanging out in the veteran world. It is a struggle I have because I know thank you is not enough. And I guess when I think about why, I mean, a lot of people ask me, do I do this? Why do I do this? Do you have a connection? What's your connection? I mean, I have a lot of family that has served and is serving. And even if they put in a couple of years at National Guard or they put in a lifetime in the Navy, it doesn't matter. They all served. And I want to say that this allows me to live a life that they lived for or died for, that they served for. And so by helping others who are still here and we want to keep here, I hope I can honor their name, their work, their memory, and their families, and their service. And so I guess that's my response. So even though I don't have the perfect words in the form of a thank you or any, I don't even say for your service. Sometimes I just say a plain thank you or thank you for being here today, and hope that my handshake or my hug or my squeeze sends the rest of the message to them. Engaging, like you say, engaging with them is a little story about a day I spent on Veterans Day. I try to take it off from school unless we already have it off. And then I look for an event to go to. And this year, Bob Wilty, he's the commander at the VFW in the Carlshardig post in Spring Lake Park. And he invited me to bring Wreaths Across America to, Hy-Vee gives free breakfast out for 5 hours to veterans and their spouses. And so I got to meet a ton of veterans and their spouses. And my friend Jackie gave me these little buttons that said, thank a veteran, hug a veteran. And so I encouraged a lot of veterans to wear it. I told them it worked. Put it on. It's magic. You get a hug. And so it was fun going through the crowd. But there was a gentleman that came in. He was all by himself. And I was hoping he said he was looking for friends. And he didn't say that. He just kind of shuffled in. And he had a Korea war hat and jacket. He had his, for lack of better, that like it looked like a bomber jacket, like a Letterman's jacket almost, right? And he had all the patches, and he was very proud of his patches. And I was engaging him in a conversation about it, and he said, "Nobody's ever asked me these questions." And he said, "Nobody has." I said, "Well, you have the jacket on. I want to know as much as I can. Tell me about your patches." And he just lit up. Not necessarily because of good things, but because some, the stories behind the jacket, but because someone asked him. And it's that easy to make a difference. It's that easy to show you're caring. And yeah, I don't know. It was too easy. He's going to let me interview him with questions about being active in the Korean War. So I look forward to getting to know him better. So yeah, thank you, Madhuri. That just very much reinforces that we all can do it. It's not difficult. And I want to thank you so much for sharing and for being here.
Madhuri, final thoughts.
Just got to do what Andrea did. Kept it so real, kept it so practical. If you have a veteran around you, do something to genuinely care for them, because this is not a one-person mission. This is everyone's mission. And only when we make it our personal deal to share that responsibility with a veteran who is a neighbor, who is a friend, who is at your workplace, is when we are actually growing as a nation. So I would say just do what Andrea did. That's all is the mission right now. Thank you, Andrea, for what you did.
The name of our organization is called We the People, the People's Patriot Project. We've been trying to engage those people that get to lay their big fat heads on the pillows of freedom daily for 8 years. We have people that don't take into account why they get to do what they do on a daily. And a lot of you will say, well, I do this or get to do this because of the things that I've chosen to do, the things that I've put into action. You are partially correct, my friend. Partially correct. We have had people spill their sweat, their blood, their tears. They've lost their limbs and they have lost their lives to accommodate this freedom you get to experience on a daily. Yes, it's not always been perfect. Yes, you might have to do something to attain some of those freedoms. They don't come free. They've been bought and paid for. It is sickening to my stomach that we have veterans struggling with some of the things that they're struggling with. Not every veteran is, I'm going to say this loosely, the word isn't broken because none of them are broken. They're just dealing with the stuff that they saw because they are providing you your freedoms. There is stuff that they're dealing with. And we're not here to fix them. We're here to help support. We're here to let them find the way to fix themselves. I do get very agitated, and that's mine to carry. I'll carry it. But I won't sit back idle. I won't wait. I will continue to work the People's Patriot Project, and we are going to continue to make a difference. I know we've made a difference. We've had the conversations with those that have seen and heard and have been part of our mission. We ask you to be part of it. If you're a veteran and first responder looking for a way to continue your mission, continue it with us. If you've never thought of serving your country or your community and you're still going to maintain the freedoms and the liberties you think you deserve, that's on you. I don't know if karma is the right word, but I hope you get what you deserve. And if it's doing nothing, then to be honest with you, you should get nothing. Maybe that should be the name of the show. Get nothing. 90% of our country should get nothing. Super excited. Thank you for being here. Thank you for our amazing guests. Hope everyone that couldn't make it tonight gets better. Thank you for our viewers. Thank you for the WeP3 team. This doesn't get done without the hard work behind the scenes. We are super blessed and excited. Tomorrow at 16:30. I knew 16:30, which is 4:30 Central Standard Time. We'll be coming back. But we'll be sharing about the mission of the People's Patriot Project. That's what we do. We did a lot tonight because we had room and space to do that tonight. And so normally it's 100% about our guests. Next week on Sunday at 1800 Central Standard Time, we'll be back here again with 2 more guests sharing the mission. We got our great, amazing friend back from year 1, Chris Morrow will be here with us. And then we got Janelle McCauley. Super amazing guests, just like our super amazing guests tonight. We will be here. We'll get her done, and we'll do more. We appreciate all those who came in and commented tonight. We appreciate all those that are involved. We better do a quick update. I know we're sneaking into that 2 hours. Andrew's going to laugh at me. But we got to do our Wreaths Across America because it is December 13th, Wreath Laying Day. It's less than 2 weeks away. Pardon me. You cannot get wreaths specific, and unfortunately and sadly, you cannot purchase wreaths for this year event anymore across the United States. That has been done, over with, and out.
Wait, for Region 3. Region 3 and 4.
Region 3. All right.
Yes. Yep.
Why did our guest leave us?
Happened.
I don't know. She popped right out.
Yeah.
She had to go. That's okay. She had to make
That's right. Did she send a note? She had to go. Oh, you know what? Remember, she had said that, yeah. But
she was on borrowed time already because she yes. Oh, lots of borrowed time from her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got not offended. I mean, it is what it is.
She had another meeting, so I'm glad she made it and she stayed. And she did great. So, yeah, Reads Across America is just Region 3 that cannot guarantee that your wreaths will get here. Now, I did see they are adding some on still today. So some people's orders are still going through. Fort Snelling, we got almost 16,500. We were hoping for 20 or more. I mean, we're hoping for 180,000, but let's not get, we're going to make our goals achievable. So we got close. We got close again this year. It'll be similar to last year in numbers. We have over 5,000 volunteers signed up, although a few have let me know they can't make it already. You're more than welcome to be there. So we appreciate everybody who has sponsored wreaths, everybody who plans to volunteer, everybody who is helping us with all of the details for the ceremony. Thank you. And for the security and placing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's what we got, right?
Yes. Oh, next week's guest. Ready?
I already put him out. I already said him.
Oh, you said it already? Shoot.
Are you not paying attention, Miss Eichmann? Come on.
Shoot, I maybe have missed that. I was checking numbers probably. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Here, I'm going to post them.
You're all good.
Oh, I remember you saying it. I remember. My bad.
Yeah. Here's the deal. We get distracted when we got a lot of things going on, production behind the scenes, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Frank is just a pretty face here, folks. And I don't know why.
I remember what I had for dinner last night.
Another promotion, Frank. There you go. You're on the pretty line. You go. Bow, 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 bow. All right. What we got? And you got anything else? We'll see you. Check your 6. And we'll see you when the smoke clears. Patriot Pride.